Today, diving into a survival manual for the future. You're tuned in to an explainer that breaks down the absolute only strategy you're going to need to stay ahead of the AI curve as we approach 2026. The world is changing incredibly fast, and we need the right game plan to thrive, not just survive. So grab a coffee, close out those extra tabs, because we're getting right into the Orchestrator Playbook.
Which brings us right to Section 1, the AI Nightmare Scenario.
Okay, let's dive into this. The real elephant in the room. Just picture this scenario. You get into a 4-year degree program, you spend an absolute fortune on tuition, and you grind for years studying. And then, you graduate only to find out your entire skill set, the thing you just spent years perfecting, has been completely replaced by an AI that literally works for pennies. It's a terrifying prospect, right? I mean, the whole foundation of how we plan our careers is completely shifting beneath our feet. And look, we gotta be blunt here, just like our source material. If your daily job involves sitting in front of a computer screen, moving data around, typing things out, you are at a very real, immediate risk of being replaced much sooner than you probably think. This isn't some distant sci-fi movie anymore. It's the right now reality for knowledge workers everywhere. But hey, don't panic just yet. Understanding this threat, that is the absolutely crucial first step to neutralizing it.
Let's pivot over to Section 2, Meet the Orchestrator. So let's move away from all that doom and gloom, right? How do we shift from being victims of circumstance to actually taking powerful, actionable control of our futures? Well, the truth about AI, despite the scary headlines and all the crazy hype, is that these tools are honestly kind of limited. They don't actually think or understand logic. At their core, they're really just incredibly advanced word predictors. So the secret here, the real money and the real security, isn't trying to outwork or compete with the machine. You can't. The secret is shifting your mindset. You've got to go from being a laborer to being a manager. Your new goal is to become the person who orchestrates an entire army of AI agents to build things for you.
And when you adopt this specific builder mindset, you aren't just saving your job. The source material emphasizes that making this shift is exactly what will multiply your payout exponentially over the next decade. We are talking about a 10x, maybe even a 100x return on your career trajectory. Seriously, 10 to 100 times. You just need to know how to leverage the technology.
Moving right along to Section 3, Developing High Agency.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the concept of high agency. It is absolutely the core trait for anyone who's going to win in this new era. It basically means taking total, full ownership of your life and just figuring things out. Look, if you hit a roadblock and your immediate reaction is to whine or just sit around waiting for someone else to fix it for you, well, you've already lost the game. You have to be the person who actively hunts down options and executes on them at lightning speed.
Let's get into Section 4, Mastering New AI Skills.
So once you've got that high agency mindset totally locked in, it's time to build your toolkit with the actual skills needed to control these machines. And first up is something called context engineering. Listen, forget those generic copy-paste these 500 words prompt templates you see floating around on social media. The real high-income skill right now is knowing exactly how to feed an AI model the right context so it doesn't suddenly, forget what you're talking about halfway through a complex task. Companies are throwing massive dollars at people who can effectively manage these context windows and keep the AI generating top-tier output.
Next up is building AI agents. Just think about how much people absolutely despise repetitive, boring, mundane tasks. By deploying AI agents, you can walk into a traditional business and streamline their operations by a staggering 70 to 80%. I mean, just imagine the sheer amount of time, energy, and cash that frees up for a business owner.
So, the crucial point is exactly how you execute this workflow. It's actually a pretty straightforward breakdown. Step 1, you set up these digital workers on platforms like Make.com or Crew AI. Step 2, you schedule them to run autonomously up in the cloud. And Step 3, you just keep a human in the loop to monitor things and make sure nothing goes sideways. You do this, you're saving companies thousands of dollars in revenue. And as the orchestrator, you can easily negotiate a sweet 10 or 20% cut of those massive savings as your fee. Boom, a total win-win.
Let's check out Section 5, Vibe Coding in Pattern Recognition. Now, this is the part where the traditional kind of intimidating barriers to entry just completely disappear for us. You might be thinking, hey, I need a heavy computer science background for all this, right? No way. You don't even need to be a world-class developer anymore. Welcome to the era of vibe coding. Now, knowing how to code is definitely still super useful, but platforms like Replit or Lovable, they literally let you build fully functional applications just by typing out what you want in plain English.
You're basically just describing the vibe, the layout, the function, and the AI builds the whole shebang for you. It totally demystifies software creation. To prove just how wild and accessible this is, our source shares a brilliant real-world anecdote. They wanted to build a custom tool, a site called promptmaxer.com. Using this exact vibe coding method, get this, it only took them a day and a half to go from a mere idea to a completely functional live website. Just a day and a half. That is the astonishing speed of execution we're dealing with today.
Let's move to and see how this builds your ultimate long-term defense against obsolescence. While everyone else is paralyzed by scary news headlines, you need to be out there actively practicing pattern recognition. Study the repeating trends in the market and double down on what is clearly working. Plus, if you leverage tools like Google's Notebook LM to rapidly grasp complex new skills in, say, just 30 days, you become fundamentally irreplaceable. You aren't just learning one rigid skill, you are literally mastering the art of learning how to learn.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 6. The future is founder mode.
And this brilliantly illustrates how we take all these futuristic high-level concepts and actually apply them in the present day. Look at how education itself is rapidly adapting for ambitious learners. Take programs like the Scalar School of Technology. They are completely reshaping education around this concept of founder mode. You aren't just memorizing textbooks hoping to pass an exam anymore, you're learning computer science right alongside hard business fundamentals. And the absolute craziest part, their curriculum actually includes providing seed funding to help you launch your own startup while you are still studying. Education is shifting massively from learn to get a job to learn to build a business.
So, what does this all mean for us? Here is the bottom line for every focused learner going through this explainer today. It is time to stop worrying about getting replaced and start doing the work to become the person who manages the replacement. You have the playbook. You know the tools. You understand the required mindset. I want to leave you with a provocative question to really spark that high agency mindset right now. Which of these skills are you going to start learning first? Context engineering? Vibe coding? Agent building? Think about it, pick one, and go execute. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.